Ahoy, everyone! Guess who's back? Godless Scummer, Jeff, or Jeff, as I'm better known. Apologise. I don't know. I couldn't play my little intro. I found I haven't streamed on this channel for like 2 years, so I'm not really expecting much engagement or anyone to really watch. But I just thought I'd come back for a little while and just um just kill a bit of time this evening, really. So I went live on my personal Facebook account like earlier today. And I found out that StreamYards, obviously, since the last time I streamed anywhere, they've obviously changed the plan, which means no longer I can't run my intro anymore without paying the bastards for it, and I'm not paying the buggers for it, I'm afraid. So sorry, I can't. Yeah. Hey, Calissa, good to see ya. It has been a while. It's been way too long. I'm hoping to sort of come back at least a bit more semi-regular, I'll say. So I haven't had the spoons for this for a long time, and I put that little short video out last week because I just was about the Trump shooting incident thing. It is yeah, getting worse. Yeah, I'm gonna start to tell you, Britain ain't getting much better either. Quite frankly, we've got something in our country called Reform UK at the moment, and they're not in power, thank God, but they're worryingly popular at the moment, and they are trying to be the sort of MAGA clones, the British version of MAGA. Really, it's yeah, as you say, we have our own issues. We definitely have got our own issues. It's not. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's. Let's just put it this way: we definitely living in times where, at least for me, my faith in human nature is been tested severely over the past couple of years. But yeah, now I can't remember whether I still had my long locks the last time I streamed, or whether I'd cut them off by then or not. But yeah, the trademark long hair went a while back, so. But I will say it wouldn't be a Godless Scummer stream if there wasn't alcohol. And so, cheers. I've got some Kronenberg tonight. So, fancy the lager. Yeah, but it's the same crap we're going for. Yeah, like I said, it's gone. It's going. It feels like the world's going to fucking hell at the moment. It really does. It's hey, Tordiest, good to see you. Once again, I know we talked in the comments last week, but once again, yeah, you were right last week. I was wrong about that, and I shouldn't have engaged with you in being a short-tempered way like that. And I apologise. That wasn't that was beneath me to do that, really, and I apologise. But I hope you're okay. I hope you're okay anyway. So, but oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Purple, great to see you. Obviously, now of course I was on Perp's stream the other week. Now, some of you may not have seen. I put a little short out early in this week. So it has been a little bit of a sad week. It has been a bit of a sad week that we learned that Jenny Morgan has passed, and that was pretty damn hard to go through. I shed quite a few tears that night, and I was even a little weepy when I went into work the following day. So yeah, that wasn't nice. But I don't think I don't think Jenny would have wanted us. I mean, too teary-eyed in that over her, to be honest. But yeah, that was a little too difficult not to do, to be honest. But, but yeah, great to see some of you in here today. It's been a little bit too long since I've done this. I said I am thinking of coming back a bit more, maybe doing a bit more content again. I guess I've I guess I've started engaging a little bit more online with the some of the you know atheist debates and so on again. This is kind of why I jumped on Facebook earlier today because I at this morning I didn't really have the spoons for YouTube, to be honest, but I jumped on my Facebook and I mean the truth of it was as well I had a stinking hangover because I went out drinking with a load of work buddies last night and I had a bit of a stinking hangover this morning. Unlike a lot bit of coffee and a couple of paracetamols or something like, or a full English breakfast or whatever normal people do as a hangover cure. Mine is to engage in arguments on the internet and there was one about Christian who was espousing Pascal's wager, and I thought I'd jump on for a while and say why I think Pascal's wager is flawed. Now I won't go through all that again. I don't think I said anything that are not pretty common. Uh, yeah, definitely a point or two too many last night. Yeah, definitely. Uh, yeah, and more power to you. Yeah, if it ain't for everyone. I mean, probably my best cure would be to stay drunk, but that's you know, can't do that all the time, can we? Can't do that all the time. But I have recovered significantly enough where I feel, yeah, I can have a one or two whilst I'm streaming. So, mm. But yeah, I so no, no, exactly. You do you, Calissa. You do you. Absolutely. So it is too expensive, and I might, and to be honest, I only make slightly more than a door-to-door shit salesman who works on commission. To be honest, so um, it's yeah. So um, keeping an alcohol habit is challenging in these times. You know, um, yeah, some folks do like a designated driver. Yeah, I ended up getting a damn cab home last night, and I didn't intend to, but now I was like, Jesus, that cost me a lot of bloody money. It's like it's more expensive every time I go out in the town than um. But I didn't drink in a place that was too expensive, so you know, uh, no, nothing's cheap at the moment, is it? Nothing is cheap. It's yeah, same the world over, really. Of course, yeah, pre- damn it, coffee. But yeah, President Fuck Knuckles, he's kind of fucking things up for everybody, really, isn't he? Not just for Americans. He's kind of fucking things up for us. Um, Alec, what are your thoughts on Alex O'Connor's recent interviews and seeming to lose the plot? Do you see his debunk of Ricky Gervais? I haven't really watched a lot of Alex recently. I gather Matt Dillahunty was a little angry with him over something that he did in an interview. I can't quite, but I think it was just suggesting that Matt hangs the phone up on. But I can't quite remember. It was something about Matt just hanging the phone up and whatever on that. But which Matt has done. I mean, I'm not necessarily the greatest Matt fan. I agree with him on a lot of things, but to be honest, though, I should I've got to say, I haven't really watched him in a long time either because I don't watch The Line. And you know, but I think a lot of the call-in shows they have got a little kind of repetitive. I think, and I suppose they're bound to after a while, though. After met how many years they've been doing this, but it seems like there's so many different call because you still got all the ACA call-in shows. You got the ones on the line, but no, I haven't been watching Alex. I haven't been watching Alex recently. Maybe I should. Um, yes, I haven't. So yeah. So what's he been? So what's he sort of been doing then? Really? Because I haven't really. I said I don't know what he's. Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's cool. Matt does Matt. Yeah, you're right. Um, Alex is leaning toward the whole cultural Christianity nonsense. Okay, all right. That's disappointing. That's disappointing to hear. Uh, yeah, yeah. Again, but then in a way, I suppose it's even a little hypocritical of me because I jumped on Facebook and talked about my objections to Pascal's wager, and again, that's all. That's something that's been done to death. It's not. Christian sort of using that is nothing new. And I also I find it a bit of a weird thing because it's not really an argument that's set up to actually convince you of God's existence. Really, I don't think. So it's but he started using Jordan Peterson terms. I mean, I cannot stand Jordan Peterson. I really can't. I mean, the guy's a lying fuck anyway. We know this. But I just find him something. I just think he's one of those guys that just he uses a lot of word salads. He uses a lot of word salads to avoid actually answering questions on anything. He gave John Lennox a platform. Who's John Lennox? Sorry, I'm out of the loop on this. Who is John Lennox? Go, let me just Google him. Um, well, Irish lay theologian. Okay, okay, that guy. Okay. Um, well, yeah, I'm glad that there's a profit sharing thing. If I'm honest with you, my issue with the line is I'm not going to support anything that Jimmy Snow's involved with. I do not like the man. It's just I don't like the man at all, and I won't support anything that he's got a hand in. So that's all it is. I don't like Jimmy. I've never liked. Well, I haven't liked him for a long time. So uh, but that's just how I feel about it really. But I was just trying because there is a lot of people on there that are very good and I mean I've seen clips from the line. I saw a couple of clips with Seth Andrews responding to stuff today on I think on his so either Thinking Atheist Facebook page or something like that. I've been kind of I know Facebook ain't great either, but I've sort of been retreating there a bit because um, you know, Twitter or X is such a fucking cesspool now. Y- yeah, yeah, I think definitely a lot went to Jimmy's head. I mean, there was a lot of that stuff that came out about him, you know. Um, oh yeah, yeah, maybe, yeah, because that was, yeah, the Jimmy, yeah, Jimmy's a dick. I just he's a dick, and I mean, Look, I respect a hell of a lot of the people that are on the line. I really do. I have a lot of respect for Matt. I have respect for Seth, Aaron. I think Shannon goes on there. Does she still? I don't know. And it's a lot of the people. I've got a lot of respect for them. And I'm glad that they're getting some compensation. But I am actually given some of the stuff that came about Jimmy. I'm very surprised some of them still work with him actually. But I um but yeah, I mean, I unsubscribed to anything Jimmy was involved with a long time ago. I and I found something of one or two things a little opportunistic about Jimmy Snow as well. That if you go back, I think if you go back to that whole thing about this, must have been, yeah, because this was before the pandemic. This, so we're going back quite a few years ago now. But the the thing with David Worley and that guy Lance Gregorchuk, which blew up when the guy Gregorchuk, he was drunk while being interviewed. Now I'm not going to take any. I'm not going to throw stones when I live in glass houses there about getting drunk on live streams. I've got no. That's definitely not something I can take. I could, but the guy then, he met the quite sick defense he made of Kraus actually, and the way that he talked, it was sickening. But anyway, there was a few of us who, myself, a few others, but one or two bigger names who knew David, like Rachel Oates or whatever. And I think Jimmy suddenly decided to make a video because he realized, oh, this is a topic that's getting a lot of traction. He didn't really give a shit about he didn't really give a shit. He didn't really care about the issue. It was I'm yeah maybe I'm being unfair to the guy, but that's just how it came off to me. Is he realized this might get him some views, and so yeah, actually, the few clips I've seen of the line, actually, Ton, is Jimmy is yeah, I still keep hearing his voice even when he's like producing or something in the background, and it's yeah, Jimmy's got a massive fucking ego. He really has. I know, but I know people who were some of like his earliest supporters who don't want anything to do with him now. Uh, Yes, very, very much so, perps. Yeah, Jimmy is very opportunistic, and um, I think that's come out a few times. So I am. So there is a big. I understand it's obviously it's probably a decent platform for this sort of thing, but yeah, the Pumpkin Saga, and I'll be admit, I supported him on that. I totally supported him on that, but um he did raise a good issue, and yeah, I had a bit of fun with the pumpkin emojis. Geez, and I did one of those short you know um was it about, I think, was it McMurtry? It was one of the IFB pastors, wasn't it? But one of those hate mob. But then I sort of partook in the whole thing that we were Simon Dan started with Matt Powell as well, so which was a lot of fun as well. Because one see the one thing I learned about Matt Powell when I was doing YouTube is even if like a tiny little channel made, if somebody does a video, if any atheist does a video about Matt Powell will watch it. He will watch it. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's yeah, Jimmy, but yeah, I don't like Jimmy. I don't like the man. Um, uh, so yeah, but um, yeah, I was saying, what's it? Yeah, I had learned that with Matt Powell. I mean, he didn't actually play a clip of me in Mobby, but he did play a still of me. Just for some reason, he had an issue with the fact that I got like a Deadpool picture up there or something, and we atheists need to grow up because you know, um, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, see, I don't know. See, it's one of those things, is it? I don't know how I feel about it in a way. I don't know that I really want Matt Powell. I don't. There's a part of me that does not want Matt Powell engaging with my channel whatsoever. But there's also a kind of something a little bit of perverse pleasure I can take out of be um, of the fact that I know he will watch that I mean, he's obviously yeah, exactly. You're guaranteed at least one view, aren't you, if you make a Matt Powell video? I I mean, I did have a secret ambition to appear on Kent Hovind's Whack an Atheist at one time, but I'm way too small of a creator, I think, for him to pay. Although I do have one advantage, he doesn't seem to like British people much, does Kent. I have noticed that, but I think I'm far too small to be on his radar, and there's not enough. There wouldn't if I made a video on it, there wouldn't be enough clout in it for him to chase me. He but I have noticed that some of the British YouTubers have really gotten under his skin. I know Rachel Oates very much got under his skin a few years ago. It's obviously the fact that Rachel's a young woman as well. I think that Simon Dan got under his skin. Emma Thorne, I know, really got under Kent's skin, and which I think she found bloody hilarious. Because but yeah, so I did have a sort of secret ambition, but yeah, Matt Powell will actually watch if you make a video about him. So I suppose some people. Oh yeah, of course, yeah, yeah. Creaky, he's gone after Creaky a couple of times. I like Creaky. I like Creaky. He's good. He's good. Um, um, but yeah, I mean, I kind of almost sort of like, I do like some of the debunk slash point and laugh at the stupid sort of channels, you know, um, I've watched yeah, I've watched a couple of Craig's, FTFE's streams recently, because I sort of fell out of the whole, the flat Earth thing was getting so bloody repetitive, but it's um, the only one I want to notice me is Ken Ham, as Paula G has got. Yeah, that's right. Is that Paula G has got an open invite to anyone Ken Ham calls out, I believe. Yes. So yeah, we'll have to concoct some sort of plan to get Ken's attention, but he doesn't. I don't think he tends to engage with YouTubers a lot, does he? From what I know of the guy. I mean, he's another dishonest grifting charlatan. Actually, speaking of grifting charlatans, I think the last video I sort of dropped really before I went away, and I've got to say, probably wasn't one of my greatest videos, but because you know, I'd sort of seen this. I'd seen this whole thing kind of after I'd been out drinking, and it was whole Russell Brand's conversion to Christianity, and and I was sort of almost trying to reach out to the across the fence, across the floor to the Christians, and just to say, don't trust this prick. Don't he the man? This is his latest grift. A few years ago, Brand was grifting the left or trying to, but I think unfortunately, I feel like my pleads to them fell on deaf ears because I got a lot of clapback and angry comments from Christians or whatever. I mean, I got a lot of engagement. I'll say that much, but I wasn't. Oh yeah, I saw that shit show when he's opening the Bible. Oh god, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Russell Brand is about as much of a Christian as I am, and I take a hard atheist position. There is no God. I take the hard position on that. So I Russell Brand, I think he's done. He was. I mean, when he did his um whole when he was going for his little quote unquote Marxist revolutionary phase. I was kind of interested to see what he was saying at the time. But so I actually did read his book Revolution, and that's what when it struck me. It's like this guy has got no fucking clue what he's talking about. He was very. It didn't. The thing is, to say the left found him out. Um, so then he started going down the conspiracy rabbit hole, and now he's grifting off the Christians. And if they ever wise up to him, I guarantee you Russell Brand will convert to Islam. That will be his next move. If and then he'll write a book. It's the brands. It's becoming the brand cycle at this point. And obviously, we know he's facing some rather serious allegations here in the UK as well. But yeah, okay, perps. Yeah, yeah. Go get some. Get yourself fed. Absolutely. Yeah. So it's been interesting times, isn't it? So yeah, please go follow Purple. Please go and subscribe to Purple's channel if nobody not subscribed already. Um, the midweek chats are mid morning mid America chats on a weekly basis are great. Really good, really good to be a part of as well. So yeah, so definitely good to see some one or two familiar faces in the chat actually. Uh, so, but yeah, it's been a while, but yeah, I am trying to think of coming back, and I'm sort of, I've been trying to dive a bit more into the philosophy and stuff again. I've got this. I'll tell you what, I'm reading right now. Like, I've got this. Now, do you want to say that now? When I say a big book, right? This is what I'm reading right now. Okay, so um, so the complete works of Plato. Okay, so I'm whilst I'm reading that, but I mean I've got my also got my head in Graham Oppy's Atheism: The Basics, which I think is a fantastic little book, which I would actually recommend more atheists check out. Graham Oppy. I think the guy is really really quite good. He has. I mean, the guy's a philosopher, and he's like a professor of philosophy, but he's probably one of the best atheist philosophers out there. To um, yeah, it's a phone book, but I've put the Plato on the cover to fool people. God, you remind. I don't know what it is. That sounds like something a certain work colleague of mine, whose name I won't mention, would say actually. But yeah, but um, Uh, that's no, it is actually Plato. I've got a couple of classics here. I've got Marcus Aurelius down here as well. So, which I'm kind of. I mean, I'll tell you so. Actually, like, there's a lot to Stoicism, I think, but I really hate the way that it's been. I mean, there was a good video I saw actually about how Stoicism became Broicism, and the way people in this the whole manosphere are kind of you know talking about being stoicism and so on, but I get the feeling they've never really read any of it, or they've completely missed the point of it. It's it is it it's very strange how it really how they've sort of. This look, a lot of people think stoicism is more about like suppressing your emotions and that. And it's not really. It's about trying to master your emotions. There's a bit of a difference there, and it's been sort of, I'd say, helpful to me in a way that I've tried to do a better job in my life of learning to accept the things that I don't have control over. Um, that's because if I don't have control over it, I shouldn't really worry about it too much. It'll try not to, at least try not to. Um, it's yeah, it's about being resolute in a way, yeah. But there's a lot you can get from it. I mean, but I think what you're seeing, you see people like Andrew Tate or whatever trying to plug Marcus Aurelius. I mean, let's just put it this way: a guy who has a meltdown on a complete meltdown because he picked a fight with Greta Thunberg and lost, and he threw an absolute hissy fit of it. It doesn't strike me as showing very what a stoic virtue, this virtuous stoicism there, is it? It's not, you know. Um, Sorry, cigarette, but yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not for everyone, honestly, perps. I mean, it's. I mean, you could say in a way that some people could say Marcus Aurelius wrote the world's first self-help book. I mean, they were his own private notes, but I think anyone who's taken a look at his life, he probably didn't exactly live up to his own ideals a lot of the time himself. So, oh, good lord, has it gone out already? So, yeah, but there's something to it, I think. But I don't try and I mean, I'm still very much a noob. There's a lot I'm sort of trying to learn in terms of philosophy. Hello there. Full on God believing. Okay, a full in God believing individual. One wonders why you're an atheist. Sadly, many people are, but more and more open to the idea of something greater than us. I feel. Okay. Why? I guess the best way to put this is why I am an atheist is I talked a little bit about this on my Facebook Live earlier, but I I think according to the way I see the world and the way I have interpreted the evidence for the existence of God, I don't find the claim of any God claim to be satisfactory to me, and if anything, I have gone more. I have more reasons to think there is no God rather than that there is a God of some kind. That's where I lean to at the moment. That's where I lean quite heavily on that. Now I perhaps differ a little bit from some of the other atheists in the community who will sort of describe themselves as having a lack of belief, which is fine to do so if you want to do that. But um, no, I believe quite strongly at the moment that there is no God. Now, can I claim certainty on that? I mean, I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Now, I did sort of when I was on Facebook earlier today on my live, I was talking a bit about Pascal's wager and why I feel it's very, very flawed. But no, but thanks for the question, honestly. I might, honestly, thanks for the question and thanks for coming in and being, and actually and being civil. I appreciate that. Um, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, at one time I was into, Norse paganism. So I sort of had a belief in like the existence of the Norse gods, and I was probably, I might say, you could say that I had maybe a slightly Wiccan view that maybe all gods were real, so that the Christian God might be just one of amongst the many, many millions of deities that are out there and have been claimed. So I might have had that view at one time, or I was leaning towards it, but no, that's not where I'm at. Yeah, yeah, damn bloody right. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. There, they. There's a lot of tendency towards just, I think, trying to get gotchas on the other side. And look, a lot of the theists who have come into my live chat have been trying to do that. That some of them, I mean, there's one or two of them I've outright banned from coming anywhere, and they're just nasty, nasty people as well. Like Darth Dawkins, for example. I mean, he's just a nasty human being, and but he likes to try and engage in debates with atheists, but he's trying to do a very dishonest uh, sort of philosophical trap on people with a form of presupposition or apologetics. Um, okay, Perk said, in between Christian atheists, I explored dozens of pagan pasts, but concluded that you know no one had anything sports, but some good stories. Like, yeah, I mean, but this is I actually said this today. Actually, I mean, but when you think about like really, when you look at a lot of mythology as well, because I one of the things I sort of brought up, and again, this was in response to Pascal's wager, and that is, and it's like, let's say that Christianity is true, that why would a good and loving God um, punish me for using what He gave me, the gifts of reason and the ability to use tools like logic, using them, and he not presenting enough, and I'm using that to determine, based upon what I have been presented, that he's not real. And I said, really, when you look at one of the other things I was sort of saying about that now, if he was to send me to hell for that, he's not a very not he's not a very nice guy. But the thing is, if you read a lot of like any mythologies, whether it's the Bible, Norse mythology, Greek mythology. Don't know much about like Hindu. You know, yeah, okay, that's fair enough. That there, I think there are a lot of people who believe in a god or a higher power, and like the concept of a soul or so on. But not necessarily. Not necessarily any, the mythology or dogma necessarily that goes with that. I just, I have no reason to, I have no reason to believe in something like the soul. I think we're here. I think we're here. We live once and we die. And I know I don't feel like it's connected to. I don't think it's connected to anything greater. I don't feel that way. I've got no. I don't have a reason to think that's the case. But yeah, I mean, Christian got, yeah, it did begin as one as a in a pantheon of Middle Eastern deities. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, but again, yeah. Good. Thanks for the question again, though. Thanks for the question. And thanks for the thanks for the engagement there. But that's kind of Purpose says, yeah, I was there about 12 plus years. So spiritual, but not religious. I believed in the soul, reincarnation, but no gods. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think I got there. I mean, and a lot of, I think what was, I'm a bit weird because I sort of went from atheist to Norse paganism back to atheism. I don't, I think the first time, I mean, I was atheist. I never had a lot of time. Even though I got very much like Church of England kind of Christianity. It's at a primary school level, I'd say. So, which is, you know, Church of England is pretty light in. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's all sorts of problems with the Church of England. It's not a particularly great organisation. It's just maybe in comparison with some of the others, it's not as bad. Um, but I got that kind of Christianity when I was young. Although I do remember that my grandmother used to go to a Baptist church, and the reverend there was he was a dick. He was a dick. And yeah, horrible little man. He really was. But yeah, my grandmother, I think, actually became more C of E later on. But she did go to like a Baptist chapel for quite a number of years. But but yeah, I mean, it's so it said if I was forced into a religion, it would be Norse. That would be, be more. Us be Yeah. I mean, what I was going to say about a lot of the god claims in all these mythologies is a lot of the gods are really quite dickish. I mean, I'd say amongst the Norse gods, I mean, like Thor seems like would be pretty cool. If he was real, like he'd be the kind of guy you'd want to go and have a drink with or something. But Odin can be a bit of a dick. There's no two ways about it. Obviously Loki is designed to be the dick in Norse mythology, but you know, I mean the Greek gods even more petulant, and so some of the things according to Greek mythology they did. I mean, there's some petulant shit there. There really was. Um, so it says, yeah, I think many people go through the same experience. Purple, certainly believe in God. I don't know exactly how that God manifests, but it makes logical sense to me. And yeah, and yeah, plus four is cool. I will say in the mythology, like he's a if people got like Chris Hemsworth in their head, I just need to know four's a redhead, but just so you know. But I mean, I kind of loved the story of how Thor got his hammer. I got a couple of books on Norse mythology down here. I got this one from Kevin Crossley Holland, and I've actually got Neil Gaiman's one as well. But I mean, that's one of those things. I really want to hope the stuff about Neil Gaiman's not true, but it's a little, you know. Hey, Robert X, great to see you, mate. It's been a long, long time. Good to see you. Um, Good to see. I'm just thinking, you got a wrench. Perps, I've never given you perps. Have I not given you a wrench ever? I Can I make? Yeah, I'll remedy. I'll try and remedy that later if I can. I thought I'd given you a wrench, but yeah. Or it's not even a wrench anymore. It's little shields now on YouTube. But I mean, I just noticing it on StreamYards. They still appears as little wrenches. Who is he? Right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. But But yeah, I loved the story. I loved the story of how Thor got his hammer, and when essentially Loki plays a gets drunk and decides it'd be a good idea to play a prank on Thor by shaving his wife Sif's head completely bald. Um, and it kind of sort of leads from there, really. And a lot of this stuff does always tend to involve Loki getting himself into trouble, really, or something. I think the one where actually Loki has to, they have to get the hammer back, and like Loki helps Thor by help making Thor dress up as a woman to get the hammer back. There's some funny. There's actually a lot of humor in Norse mythology. I quite like it. I quite like it. Yeah, but so you're still stalking perps. Hey, yeah. Um, yeah, it would be a spanner, um or as we in England say, a wank spanner. You know, uh, uh, no, no one in this life chats a wank spanner. I can tell you that now. Nobody here's a wank spanner. But yeah, it's good to come on and just engage with people again. I haven't done it for so long. I'm thinking of trying to do this a bit more, at least semi regularly. Might do if I get if I get to I what am I? I'm on 616 subscribers now. So because you get, I'm wondering if you get me 50 more, okay, I'll throw a party on the channel. I want don't I'm not going for 1,000 just yet, but tell you if I could get to 666 subscribers, I'll our stream will get some people on or something, and you know, um, oh yeah, yes, indeed, yeah, but yeah, it's I mean I don't know. I mean, some people know already, but there are a couple of people that I used to be friendly with in the community that I've cut ties with. One of them has been on my channel before. I'm not going to mention names. Well, I won't mention the guy's name because if I do, even though I blocked him 3 years ago, he'll just start tweeting about me again. So I won't mention his name. But there's a couple of people that I used to associate myself with. That I no longer do because I kind of found myself in a position where I can either call myself an ally to trans people or continue to associate with these people, but I cannot do both. So the decision I made is I'm an ally to I try to be as good of an ally as I can be to trans people. So um, yeah, yeah, I haven't not that familiar with him either myself. So honestly, uh, not so. There's a lot I've got to read. Honestly, a lot. There's like so many like philosophers that I've got on my reading list. I mean, I think I saw a video about like 5 philosophy books everyone should read. And I think I've got 2 of them here. One of them was I've shown you both of them. The Plato's Complete Works and Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. I think Confessions of St. Augustine, he said. Now, even though it's obviously people say, well, as an atheist, why would you want? I haven't read it yet, but I want to get there. Um, and people would say, well, why would you want to read a Christian philosopher? It doesn't necessarily, just because they're a Christian, it doesn't mean even as an atheist I can't get something out of that. And I think the other one he mentioned was Descartes' Meditations and Bertrand Russell's History of Philosophy. So those, but I've got that great big brick of a book by Plato to get through before I consider which one of those 3 I decide to get to next. And that could take me. I mean, that could take me like a year and a half to read that book. And like I mean, I like to like sometimes to I was sort of just spending my lunch times at work playing pool, but I think in the last week or two I've just started reading. Claire, great to see you. By the way, I haven't said it to you yet. Congratulations, your channel's taken off. Remember when you just started? You know, you've left us all in the dust. You know what are you up to now? Let me just check. I'll just check on my phone. Let me just put your Clairview in. You would 83,000 subscribers now, Claire. Wow, you've done bloody well. You've done really well. So congratulations on the success you've been having, Claire. So, but it's good to see you. Um I tell you, I mean, if we could ever get if I come back, if I come back a bit more, yeah, 5 years. I'm sure the last time I was on your stream, we only got about a couple of hundred views on that one we did on the black metal stuff in Norway and so on. But okay, actually, I'm neither. I'm actually in Hampshire. But a lot of people say, "Are you West Country?" I don't. I do sound a little bit. To those who don't know British accents, I do sound a little bit. This would be a bit like I don't know, like a redneck accent or something in the US. You know, it's a bit of a country accent. You know, but no, it's a sort of old Hampshire accent, but I feel like the old Hampshire accent's kind of yeah, I'm dying a bit. I'm doing YouTube crime. Yeah, I've been thinking of re-uploading that case. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't mind saying where I am because pretty much everyone knows I'm just near Southampton. So um, you know, and my team won again today. They lost to they did all right again in the FA Cup final, semi-final against Man City. Even though they lost, they did all right. You know, they played well. But hey ho, um, that's yeah, that's yeah. I know most of my fans are my people who watch me are not the sports ball fans. So uh, but I do like a bit, and I do. That's kind of you're opium for the people, isn't it? Well, actually, yeah. Funny enough, the Scummer thing actually is a play on it because that's the nickname Portsmouth fans call us. So I just thought I'd run with that. So it is a reference to me being a Southampton fan, actually. But yeah, I suppose actually thinking about it, I could have gone with the Godless Saint as my but oh, do you know, I mentioned before you jumped in here, Claire, I mentioned that little pricky earlier, Russell Brand. Uh, yeah, yeah, and as same here, Claire. If you ever do want to slum it back on with the tiny little channels again, you're always welcome here. I'm I'll tell you what, if I get back into this regularly, if we can ever get Jen back, we've got to resurrect. We've got to resurrect Coty, really, haven't we? We've got to do that again, and we should. We sort of stopped doing that, but I think if we could get Navadia and Jen back on board, I know it's difficult for Jen these days, but I think we've got to. Sorry, by the way, to those who are new here, sorry, they're going to use some bad language here. The Coty is the Hunt of the Year awards given to people who, yeah, have been exceptionally. So actually, we were talking about another previous winner earlier in the stream, Jimmy Snow. He was one of the inaugural winners of that award. Actually, he and Donald Trump. So yeah, I'm trying to remember. I know Illuminati got one last time we did it. I can't remember all the people that did it, but Um, I was a bit gutted. I was a bit gutted because when John Richards didn't win that year, I think. Although I think was it, I'm pretty sure was it Matt Powell that beat him. I can't remember now, but Matt Powell again, another guy I mentioned earlier in the stream. But yeah, John Richards. He was the guy I was seriously campaigning for that one year when he made a complete ass of himself on a whole number of things. You know, yeah, they were a lot of fun, Claire. You are right. They were a lot of fun. We probably need to resurrect it at some point. I think. I think if you did it on your channel, I think a lot of your new viewers would be like, "What the hell is this?" I don't know. It's yeah. To be honest, yeah, last year, to be fair, we could have. What we actually, if I'd been more active if I'd been active last year, the way we should have just done it is just do a stream once a month or whatever, and then we have 12 nominations, and then we do a stream at the end of the year to just nominate to say who the biggest is the whole year out of those 12 people. But yeah, 2020 and 2026 has definitely got a few as well, hasn't it? So far, it's definitely got a few. I mean, yeah, I think if we did it again this year, I think Russell Brand might be quite high on my list at the moment. Actually, Russell Brand would be high up there. I haven't been like that much involved with the YouTube community and the people that are that adjacent to us to know who's really stood out amongst the sort of people that we interact with or we haven't or um so I couldn't. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier actually. I think Tony has brought that up earlier, Claire, that him opening that Bible and like, oh my word. I mean, I said it earlier. I'll say it again. Russell Brand's about as much of a Christian as I am. It's a grift. It is an absolute grift. Um, he did this when he went through his left wing Marxist revolutionary phase. He got some balls with it. Goes to this, finds this new fan base amongst the left for a while. Brings out a book. We start cottoning. We caught onto him. Then so now it's like he's trying to fleece the Christians, and if they ever catch on to him, Russell Brand is going to convert to Islam, and then he's going to write a book about why Allah is why you should all pray to Allah. That is the Brand cycle. But it's just the thing is, as we know though, unfortunately, and I don't, I unfortunately, we do see this, that there are people that have grifted Christian community for many many years and get away with it. So I think Russell Brand could be on this grift for a long long time. He could be on this grift for a long long time. Well, I'm sure if he ever does get locked up or get convicted of the things he's accused of here in the UK, there's going to be a comparison to Jesus coming out at some point from him. I'm almost certain of. Um, yeah, and again, but I'll say this: in the UK, in the UK, if he gets sent down here, the Christian grift ain't going to fly for him as well as it would do if he was facing charges in America. I don't think. Um, I don't think that would work. I don't think that would work as well in his favor, honestly. But I don't know. But and yeah, I mean, oh god, I mean, I don't even want to get. Don't even want to even get into Trump that much because I just think it's just the level, the sheer batshittery. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know the meme you're on about, and then he's trying to say he was a doctor, and I mean, the guy's. I mean, you'd think even he would realise that doing anything where he compares himself to Christ. Uh, yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, MAGA is a cult. It really is. There's no two ways about it. It is the cult. It is a cult of personality around Donald Trump. There's not much else you can say about it, really. That's just what it is. There's just some people. To some people, that man can do no wrong. But I like to think that. I mean, I'd like to think that some people that I think the thing where he compared himself to Jesus, though, I think that definitely, at least to some of his Christian fan base, that definitely was a step too far for them. Um, but I'm afraid now is that even if I would think if Jesus was to come, if God is real and Jesus came back tomorrow or whatever and told right in front of the world, told Donald Trump, look, you got this, you got this completely wrong, whatever. MAGA would still side with Trump over Jesus. That's kind of where I think that some of them are right now. Um, yeah, and it is strange, really, and when you think about that, really Trump, he represents a lot of the things that Christians preach against, and it's quite strange that he's got, especially the evangelicals. So it's almost very strange that he has got such a following amongst the evangelicals. Really, yeah, yeah. I'll say there's only one Trump I like, and that's the snooker player Judd Trump. But I don't know much about him personally. I just like watching him play snooker. I'm a bit. That's the only Trump I like. Yeah, absolutely, they would. Yeah, um, yeah. It's Trump has isolations around the airports to guard against Jesus getting into the US. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. Uh, it wouldn't surprise me. Especially if Jesus come back and there's to be like, wait, what? You're not white? What? I I did read something about this. Just Google something, and I'm just sorry. I'm just googling something because I'm just seeing. See, I read something earlier. No, okay, it's an urban myth. Okay, I saw something earlier. Just I was on in a Facebook thing and about the Jesus being the sort of image of Jesus being based on Cesare Borgia, which I'd never seen that before. But um, yeah, I just googled that quickly. Said no, that apparently that's a myth. So okay, but okay, I just thought I'd check that. I just saw it somewhere earlier, and I don't know, I'd never seen that before. It's really weird. So if it's something that's been going around for a while, I'd never. I just wanted to check that though, but apparently no, that is a complete myth. Um, but yeah, you sort of see this. It's like you see that it's around the world. Sort of Jesus is portrayed in sort of the image of the culture that the immediate culture. Really, it's yeah. Um, but hey ho. But I was trying to think really if we ever. But there'd be a lot if we ever. I do think that that'd be cool to read. Bring back the Cody Awards. That would be a really cool thing to bring back. But it's but I zone out on a lot of the news these days. Honestly, I do zone out on it. Even Jesus would think twice before coming to the USA. Yeah, I mean, I can just see this. The FIFA World Cup is going to be a shit show, isn't it? Because I still don't know. Has Iran actually pulled out yet? Because I don't know. Because I don't see how the hell they how the hell are they going to go? They've qualified for the World Cup. How the hell is Iran going to go and play there? It's only a few weeks away. Um, I mean, but hey ho. I mean that. I mean that. I think actually, I'm pretty sure I think for when we talk about we did a Coty Award. I'm pretty sure I brought up FIFA as a sort of for a group of CUNTs. Because FIFA is such a FIFA. I know this is a sports thing, but FIFA is such a corrupt organisation, and them giving Trump that blooming medal was so disgusting. It really was. I thought it was obscene that they gave him that. And okay, they might have felt the need to stroke his ego a little bit, but it's like the Nobel people aren't going to give you a peace prize, and then so it's like which he obviously still thinks he should have got, and then he decides, oh, I'll go start a war. Go figure. And then I mean, I suppose the one thing that's interesting, I think was very interesting being from the UK is it was interesting to see the right wingers in the UK and right wing Americans getting into a hissy fit over the sovereignty of the Falklands slash Malvinas, because Trump started making threats to us about that, like he was gonna, side with Argentina's claim to sovereignty or whatever. That's a long thing, but the thing is, the way I see it, um, I've got no, I'm not like one of these Brits who's, like rah rah about the Falklands War or nothing like that. Absolutely, I'm not. People know about my politics. I bloody hated Margaret Thatcher, but the but the thing is, I thought it was interesting seeing them argue. But the way I see it is this: that um, there was a referendum like just a few years ago of the inhabitants of the Falkland Islands. There's only a couple of thousands of them, but it was like 98% in favour of the tie with Britain. That's their right to self determination. If you're going to ask the people on the who actually live on those islands, who inhabit that, if you say to them, "Do you want to have a link with Britain or a link with Argentina?" They're going to vote overwhelmingly to remain part to remain British. That's just how it is. Um, but it was an interesting thing though, just seeing I think Reform UK supporters felt very confused by the whole thing. It's like, do we support? I must bet Reform politicians probably did as well, because it's like, it because I mean, it seems like Nigel Farage is just desperately trying to get like an endorsement from Trump or something, Um, and he's pulled a few little stunts recently, where he went out to Chagos Islands and tried to get in, saying that he's a British citizen and he's not allowed in. Well, it's a fucking military base. Of course it's not. Of course they're not just going to let you in. politics is. I just think that politics. I just. Uh, this is possibly, I think, what I've been away from. I mean, like, I just look at the world a lot of the time, and I just think it's gone to fuck. It really has, isn't it? It's gone to fuck. Yeah, I know, I know. I mean, I think Nigel's that far up there though that he could write a 500-page book on Trump's intestines. Um, he is that far up there. But mind you, I think I'm going to paraphrase something Christopher Hitchens once said, actually, and I'm going to use it about Nigel Farage. If you if you gave that man an enema, you'd be able to fit him into a matchbox. So that's yes, what I think about Nigel Farage. But yeah, I did read actually mentioning Hitchens. I had a bit of a mixed relationship with Hitchens, but I have read his tiny little one on Mother Teresa recently. Actually, I mean, it's a very short little book. You could probably just read it in a you could read it in a few hours, and literally I did actually. I sat there and I sat there. I think I read it for a couple of for my lunch breaks during work, because I decided I'd stop wasting money on the pool table at work every morning, every lunchtime, and sit there and read for a bit instead during my lunch hour now. But um, yeah, literally this one I think I started reading it during my lunch break one day, and then I came home, read the rest of it in the evening. It's only like, it's like thick, and like, the text is like quite big. Well, you can't really see it, but the text is quite, so it's a tiny little book, but and I do think on this particular one, because when obviously he wrote this when Mother Teresa was still alive, but on this particular issue, I think Hitchens has kind of been history's kind of vindicated him on that particular issue. I think some of the positions he took, like his cheerlead. I mean, his cheerleading for the Iraq War is. I was very disappointed with him for that, but he's definitely one of those guys that I mean, I almost kind of. It's a weird thing to say this, that maybe he sort of managed to pass with his. I think his him passing when he did. I think he was able to sort of remain sort of quite high in the opinions of uh, a lot of atheists. Where I think people like Richard Dawkins, he's not as highly regarded these days. I don't think Sam Harris doesn't seem to be. I mean, I would say out of the whole original Four Horsemen and New Atheism, I think Dennett was the one I had the least issues with, honestly. But then, but there was a lot of them, wasn't there, that veered to the right. I mean, we've all seen now. I mean, that group, around David Silverman or whatever, that the atheists. I mean, you look at the way Silverman went, and I mean, I know there was those allegations against him, but he's saying he was, but he sort of said like, I was once a woke radical leftist or whatever. I was like, I've seen some of the stuff from him like before he went down the MAGA rabbit hole. Silverman, he wasn't that left leaning. I didn't think beforehand. I really didn't think he was. But yeah, I mean, good. Guy's a good speaker. I would never take that away from him. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. And what I think, what I've kind of worries me is that if Hitchens was still around today, he might have gone in the same direction. And he's definitely a guy who did. I mean, he did go further to the right as he went along. Christopher Hitchens. I mean, he started. I mean, look, but I mean, look, he started out when he was really young. He was a member of the International Socialists, which is now the Socialist Workers' Party in the UK, which is a Trotskyist group. And I know about them because I was a member. I used to be a member of the SWP. You know, so I do know about them, and they got they're a Trotskyist group, but we've got a slightly, should we say, unorthodox position on the USSR compared to a lot of you know, communist or even Trotskyite groups. So they would argue that it was a more of a, anyway. But that's kind of where Hitchens started out, and then I think he sort of drifted into, like, I think, a few other Marxists. But I think by the 90s, he certainly drifted away from Marxism, and I think he got more on into like atheism sort of started becoming his thing after a while. But yeah, Dawkins. I've always found something a little bit unlikable about Dawkins. I don't know what it is. I've always found something a little unlikable about the man. Um, but yeah, he's definitely on a reactionary bandwagon, and it's again, I would. Again, I don't get the issue with trans. I don't get what their issues with trans people are really. You know, it's like it's like their whole understanding, or they want to limit their whole understanding to that line. And do you remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger film Kindergarten Cop with the little boy who comes out saying, "Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina," and that seems to be almost seems to be the basis. It seems to be the level of the argument at times. It's really quite, I mean, I'd find, I'd almost find some of the, I'd almost find some of the transphobic shit funny if it wasn't so bloody dangerous. So at times, I, and I know that's going to sound weird, because especially I know I've got trans people probably watching right now, but if it wasn't so bloody threatening, some of it could be quite funny because of just how stupid some of the arguments these transphobic gets come out with. But the problem is the rhetoric is fucking dangerous to people. You know, it's quite horrible, I think. So yeah, I know, perhaps that's what I mean. But this is what I mean. I perhaps what I hope that didn't come out wrong the way I said that. I really hope that didn't come out when I said that. It'd be funny if it wasn't so serious, because it's not really funny. It's just more the humor I can find in idiotic arguments, I suppose, at times. But again, the rhetoric is so fucking dangerous that you can't find the humor in it really. So it's just because it's scary rhetoric. I mean, I remember I actually talked. I think Purple, if you're there, I remember. I think I mentioned this on your stream the other day that um. Oh, good. I'm glad you took it that way, and I hope anyone else who's trans who watches this understands that that's kind of how I meant it. I just realised that it might have come across wrong. But that's how I meant it. But yeah, I was saying the other day when I was on your stream, perhaps. I mean, I do remember that shooting that was done by a trans person a few years, the whole thing, you know, once again, it's like, and once again, a lot of it was, I feel like, um, done in a very cynical attempt to like derail any conversation in the United States about gun control. Um, and they just, once again, the usual things of, um, like they say, well, mental health's the real issue, mental illness is the real issue. And then, of course, what do they want to equate being trans as? And the rhetoric, it got so sickening. And I do remember, Perps, who's one of the people, and Jenny, who we were talking about the other day, who's sadly no longer with us. A couple other people as well, like One Ring Noodle as well. Where people sort of told me, yeah, this is the time we need guys, our cis allies to stand up and be counted, because I've always been a bit like, when it comes to like trans issues, I've been a quiet. I'm a quiet ally, I think. Um. Oh yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's what can you say? Even trans people can be bigots too. Perhaps, is, none of us, we've got no group that's immune to it. I'm afraid. Um, you know. Um, oh, I don't know. I want to try and talk about something a bit more upbeat, but it just feels like you look around the world nowadays, and there's nothing really to get excited about, is there? Um, it's uh, it's just not good at the moment. It's not good, but I don't know. I just don't know anymore. But yeah, but yeah, I think I might. As I am trying to dive a little bit more into philosophy and philosophical arguments, and try and maybe familiarize myself a bit more with some of the philosophical arguments around atheism as well, and just see where that takes me in a way. Because I think in a way you've got a lot of people out there that are doing, that have done like the sort of science stuff, and like, clapbacks on things like evolution, or against young Earth creationism and so on. I don't feel that's not an area where I'd think. Uh, but did I see the thing with Caitlyn Jenner getting passport and still? But do you know what? I have no idea. I don't know about that. First I've heard of it. Honestly, um, no, I didn't. I didn't see it at all. So, no. But yeah. But I'm thinking, like I said, if I try to familiarize myself a little bit more with some of the philosophical arguments around atheism. I think I could do better at that. But again, I sort of got. I didn't want to see. I felt like I got into this phase where I was the tiny little atheist YouTuber that was spent most of my time calling out bullshit from other atheists, which was never my intention when I sort of went down this. I mean, when I first started on YouTube, I was covering a lot of like shitty YouTube drama. I mean, I go back and watch some of my early videos. I fucking want to crawl into the fetal position of how like bad I think some of them are. I mean, I I still to this day I sometimes stammer when I'm doing a video, or I do a lot of ums and ahs and you knows, and I mean, it kind of irritates me when um I'm doing it now, and I when I look back, and watch the videos back. It's a bit chill, I know. But hey ho, it is what it is. I mean, I suppose I could see a speech therapist, but it's I'm doing it again. It's like I sound like fucking David Beckham now. But yeah, I do. I tend to do that. I tend to do that. But strangely, the weird thing is about me is I'm I'm really weird that I've gotten out and spoken in front in a hall or whatever. There's actually a great big convention centre in the UK in Bournemouth, the BIC, in front of several thousand people. I've been quite comfortable getting up and speaking for several minutes, but try and get me up and speak like in front of like the people I work with every day and or something like that. Or sometimes even just when I'm trying to monologue on YouTube or something, say something to myself, the words don't always come naturally. They don't always come out as even as how I envisage it. But I don't want to like sit there trying to read a script whilst I'm doing YouTube either. I mean, sometimes I make sometimes I make little bullet points or whatever that I might have like on a notepad or something there here, but sometimes I'll do that. But I don't want to necessarily go down the path of. I mean, partly because if I'm honest, I'm probably too fucking lazy to learn how to edit videos and put videos together. But I always feel that there's something. I, I feel there's something about coming on and being a bit more organic as well. So I feel there's something to that. But I don't know what you think. I don't know what people think on that. Um, I'm I've got to hold my hands up. I'm too fucking lazy, and to be honest, I do everything from a ancient fucking MacBook that I got for free. I've got the for free off of a friend, um, and because he no longer needed it, and really just so I could start doing live streams. Because at the time, I was doing everything from my phone. Yeah. Well, thank to be honest. Well, thanks for saying so. Thanks for saying so. That's how I hope. That's eh, you know, I have had a couple of people sort of say to me that there's some a certain charm about even like the videos where I'm sat in the pub or whatever, and I just fire up the phone and just record. So because it's I suppose it's what I'm trying to. I suppose I could say I am trying to be more authentic, but I've also got to hold my hands up and say I'm probably too fucking lazy to learn how to edit videos properly. I'm not good at it. I wouldn't be good at it. And I'm a fucking luddite with technology anyway. Um, I've still got a solid PS3 here. Okay, so that's how. We should probably tell you why I don't do gaming streams. Not that I mean, I know there's a real shortage of people who play video games on YouTube, but yeah. So that's sarcasm is the lowest form of wit I know. But mm, I just started this. I'll try and keep going on stream until I finish this. Okay, I think we'll try and just monologue a bit longer if I can. I just want to see if I can. Just want to see if I can how long I can keep going really with yeah. Yeah, you do that too, Tordius. But I mean, yeah, no, listen, there's nothing wrong with doing like there's nothing wrong with people who do like video it's certainly nothing. I don't nothing. I'm not knocking anyone who does plays games on and streams. You know, there's obviously people enjoy it. I'd be shit at video games anyway. If I and the problem is so I could see myself playing fucking Call of Duty and fucking rage quitting or something on it. I could see myself doing that. I'm getting so bloody racked up, throwing the fucking controller down or something. I could see myself doing that. It's probably not a good idea for me to be. Uh, I've got like the old original OG Black Ops game for the PS3. Like when it comes to Call of Duty, anything like updated to what it is now, I'm like, no. I played a lot of Assassin's Creed on the PS3, so I think my history of gaming. I mean, my first it's a will show out. It's like Jesus. I mean, it's like I think I think here's the problem. I mean, last night I go out with a bunch of work colleagues, and they're almost all of them in their like early to mid 20s, and some of them are about 18, 19. And God, it's like God. By the end of the evening, I was having a midlife crisis. I feel so fucking old, and um, like the think back, my first like games console was the Atari 2600. Then I had a Sega Mega Drive, which that's the genesis to the folks in the US, and then PlayStations 1, 2, and 3. And my first actual computer was an Atari 800. So, um, yeah, it's kind of Brandon. Good to see you, mate. Good to see you. Good to see you in the chat, mate. Been a long time, mate. Been a long time. Really good to see you. How you keeping, mate? It's good to see you, but all right, perhaps I'll see you later, mate. I'll try and drop. I'll try and drop in a bit more often on Wednesdays if I can. Um, I think Mike actually, on the sofa has asked me if I want to come on sometime. Hey, Claire, good to see you still lurking there. Good to see you still lurking. Yeah. Um, yeah, good to see you there, Brandon. It's been so long since I've seen you, mate. But yeah, I don't know where you are or whatever with um everything these days, but I don't know where you are, but I have nothing to do with Steve anymore. Just so you know, I don't have anything to do with him. And that's been my policy for at least 2 years now. Probably longer actually since I've actually spoke to him. But anyway, I don't want to talk too much about him. I don't want to waste my breath really talking about that guy. But yeah, see, this is what I mean. Claire, this is why I have got like 600 subscribers and you got 83,000 subscribers because you actually put fucking effort into your content. I'm lazy. I'm fucking lazy. Um, you know. Yeah, I know, Claire. I know we've talked about that. We've talked about that. But I know like Brandon was part of that community as well. I don't know where he's at these days, but no hard feelings either way with Brandon. Brandon's awesome, um, but yeah, Claire, we've talked about that. I know about your feelings on that guy as well. So, well, okay, yeah, maybe 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 when I'm retired and I've got free time, although the way things are going in the UK, I think we'll end up working till we fucking drop before much longer. It's but yeah, and like I said, I'm not in what you call a high earning job or anything, and I'm not moaning about that because I really like where I work now. I really like I'm happier in my work than I've been in a long time. I'm happier with the people that are around me. It's just, I am in a better place, really. I am in a better place, and people know I worked for Royal Mail for like about 24 years, and then but then I wasn't working for them, and I'm not going to go into the reasons behind that. Um, but I was at a place where I was working some quite long and some quite long, quite grueling hours, which is probably why I just did not have. I just that was part of the reason I couldn't get fired up to do YouTube, to be honest. But thanks, Claire. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really do. I enjoy what I'm doing at the moment. I'm in a I'm at a quite a happy place with it, and I also I quite enjoy the people I work with as well, which is probably more so than anywhere else I've worked, I'd say. So I'm hoping I'm hoping the company can be successful, actually, and we'll have a job for quite a while. So, but yeah, I think it is important. I mean, it is important in a way, but it's as well. But I think in a lot of ways, I think I put a lot of stress on myself for a long time, because I was like, I I took on a role whilst I was at Royal Mail as a union rep, and I ended up putting, I think, way more stress on myself than I should have done. And I still think that's a bit of a flaw with me. I've got a tendency to do that. Um, it is hmm, Claire. If you suffer from double vision, please please explain, Robert. Okay. Yeah, but again, that's kind of. I feel maybe it's because there's a little bit of a weight lifted off my shoulders where I am at the moment, as well as why I'm a lot happier. Um, so I think I think sometimes, again, maybe again, it's one of those things I'm trying to learn to do within myself, and but when I've been going, it's been a real. I mean, it's been an up and down week for me, really. It's been quite a row. This past 7 days has been a real fucking roller coaster for me emotionally, and a lot of things. But I feel like I've come out in a much more positive place, and I feel a lot better. Oh, okay. Oh, is she live right now? I didn't know. Granny she's awesome. She's awesome. Okay. Um, I want to check. Is she actually live? I mean, I hate to I'd hate to take people away from Granny Gigi, but I am going to keep going a little while longer. Yes, she is. Okay. Um, she is. I mean, listen, I will hold it. I won't hold it against anyone if they go over there, and I won't hold it against anyone. Actually, do you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to close it down. Please go over to Godless Granny's channel and give her a watch, guys. I will, yeah, please. I'm going to call it a day, but it's been really cool to just come on. I suppose catch up with people and just I don't know. I think getting online and streaming today has been, even when I did it earlier on Facebook, I feel like this has been a little bit of personal therapy for me today as well. But and I hope I'm back. I hope I'm gonna be. I want to come back a bit more, at least semi regularly, if not like putting stuff being there every week. But anyway, it was lovely to catch up with you all, guys. Let's head over to Godless Granny's channel. All right. See you all later. Salute.